I am writing this book to tell you a very important story about yourself and where you came from. Well, not just you, but all of the YesUs people that are out there everywhere. This book could be called the Confession of God's Favorite Anglers. Now don't let this title throw you off of my point. The story I am going to tell you is one of the real stories that happened to me on the way to coming to Earth. Okay, I am going to start from the beginning. I first became conscious of us, on the outer crossbank in the Gondola galaxy located in the back 9 quadrants. Near Route 3 and 197. Close to the 4 black hole interchanges. When I grew up, everything was well planned, perfect as a matter of fact. I was born to protect God, that is my family's crest states. I guess it is sort of like the Freemasons here on Earth. But really, in order to become a God angler, attorney of God law. My father was in construction and my mother was doing estate planning for the planet. It was a good gig. Then as I grew up, I decided to go into God's law. Went to Harvard, Yale, and several city colleges on Earth as a alien education sponsored exchange student. This is where I learned about Earth and the human condition. I guess this is what God intended for me to experience. As you will find out later in this book, but just as my experiences were planned and designed for me, so goes your life as you know it as well. What I discovered through my 673 years of regenerated life energy efficient. No, wait, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We are all living visitors from wherever our home planet might be placed by God. On that planet, you are God, or at least it is okay in God's eye if you think about yourself in that way. Yeah, no kidding, God is really very firm on how he feels about himself and wants everyone to feel that way too. Yes, as he does know us all because he set this whole world thing up. Honor and praise God with all thought. All the time. Why? Because that's the way the God suit is designed to operate. That's why. There you and God travel forever as one energy. There you are. We are all one energy as far as God is concerned. That is what I am supposed to tell everyone. This is not easy to do, but we can do this. Now I was selected by God and his Egal team to perform the downloading of this God data. Once received, the God suit is triggered to respond to become whole and perfectly joined together as God designed for us. This process only happens once you as a God suit driver understand the ultimate power of your own thought word energy efficient. The real and true power of God's love. Enjoy the love. Part 2 of the Confessions of God's Lawyer. Since we understand that Christ was and is our saving leader of grace. Grace from God and shared by Christ. So, let's open our consciousness of Christ. The human body has been and is always the same design even 3,000 years ago. So what? Does it matter? Didn't the people from the past kill Christ? Some obvious data has been left off of the Christ message. Let me share these facts with you. Here are some facts that Christ must have known. Number 1. We are all a 50-50 blend of DNA of our mother and father. We are all 1/2 male and 1/2 females. We are comprised of 50 trillion cells. All cells are like their own universe and can become anything we want. Number 2. Every day we shed 100 billion cells and they are replaced by 100 billion cells. Every day. In 7 years, the cells you have now are entirely swapped out. This is God's design for all human beings, you and me. Number 3. We are all mammals. But we have not been told the ancient secret of what the mammals show us every day. The secret to stretching and full body shaking. Before there was yoga, there was stretching and a whole lot of shaking. Number 4. Today's scientist will tell us that the side of the body that is used the least during a person's life has the most cell and tissue damage. Making the phrase, if you don't use it you will lose it. Christ put this way when he said, if your right hand offends you, cut it off. It's better to lose an offending part of your body than to have your entire body be destroyed. Christ doubled down on that consciousness when he added, if your right eye offends you, pluck it out. It's better lose your right eye than to have the right eye lead the entire body into early destruction. Number 5. The thought of love is the strongest, most powerful word you can think upon. Love has never been taught to us as a powerful thought. Those that don't want us to learn the power of thought or love. Love is God and God is love. Number 6. We can change our thought by holding any thought inside us for 20 seconds or more. We are image creating God suits. Think love, become love. Love is the Christ as his base consciousness. This is love. Number 7. The Christ knew that we have a three-phase electrical system, left, right sides and center colossum core. All systems work on thought only. Number 8. Christ called these members in terms that people could get. He called these three mental members: the Father, left-handed side; the Son, right-handed side; the whole Ghost, our life energy, the center. Number 9. Gravity pulls us down at a rate of 32 seconds per foot squared 24/7. Gravity puts most people in their graves. The word gravity means, it grabs on me. Number 10. We are all premier guests of God Almighty. We are just actors playing the role we exist within our God suits. Number 11. We are what we think. We must watch what thoughts we place within our mind screen, because your mind screen can and does open our mindset tool in your mind on what you want, and the system will do. Number 12. We selected our rides here. No mistakes. We oversee our own lives. Christ wanted us perfect. The Christ effect asks this question: where did we all come from anyway? The religions of the world all hope that we go to heaven when our spirit, or life energy, expires from our God suits. I say God suits because that's what these bodies are in fact are. As a matter of fact, every living life form here is riding in their own God suits. We don't own these bodies, we are strictly leasing life experiences. Everything is owned by our Creator God. Everything. Open your consciousness to how huge God really is. So, here's food for Christ thought. Here are facts that we as humans have just begun to become understood. But these are things which Christ himself knew over 2,000 years ago. These are some facts about our God suits, which are just containers for our souls. Who created us, mom and dad, right? Left? The whole shebang. The Christ effect. Fact number 1: we are all 1/2 female and 1/2 male, 50-50 DNA. We think we are either male or female depending on our God suit we are attempting to learn about. Some parts rough, some parts smooth. Some parts from dad and some parts from our mother. Because of this fact, we should not be surprised that some people are attracted to men and some attracted to women. Some women are attracted to women and some men are attracted to other men. It is just love and its expressions in our blended God suit. Now some men want to be in love with women. Some women want to be in love with a man. Whatever way we share love is good for God and his God suit. The Christ effect: loving thy neighbor. Shake it up, stretch it out and hold to be born again, reset. Love thy neighbor as thyself is referring to the neighbor within each of us, which the Christ effect tells us to walk as Christ. Was Christ left or right-handed? The Christ effect proves he was the controller of two good hands just like you and me. It's the emperor new clothes. Of course, the Christ was whole and bi-sided. Christ used both sides of himself. Like we should do. Within his entire God-designed suit, which was and is exactly like our God suits. We are all the son and daughters of the highest God. The Christ effect. We are all bisexual by God's design, 1/2 mom and 1/2 dad. Correct? Now some people like some things that other people cannot understand or want. It's just part of the options of living in a God suit. You oversee your God suit, and that what the Christ effect to focusing on. Mankind, know yourself and will know all the powers of the gods. This understanding of self is all part of the fullest potential of our Creator's design. Now it is true that we all have 100% freer choice, left or right whole will. But we all paid for that free will when we signed up for the ride you're on, so it's up to you. If your free will refuses an intimate engagement relation, so be it. The Christ effect says that love can never nor be forced on anything. Forced love is not love. The Christ effect. It's always up to you. And your thought. The Christ effect is thought direction of love is to think love as your first, middle, and ending thought each day and ask for God's help. How? Just say, God help me. That's it. God listens well to the Christ effect frequency of love. In this way you can stay in contact and stay connected with the Christ effect. We produce an energy field by thought. God's designed love is everywhere, and Western man has been trying to find and to understand the Christ effect for a very long time. In fact, for thousands of years. It's time we started driving our God suits, not having our imbalanced God suits drive us. So, first of all, we are all 1/2 male and 1/2 female. We are made up by 50 trillion cells, 50-50. Each cell can create any part of the human body that is needed to heal or repair us. These cells are communicated to by thought. Our cells listen to your very command and every thought you have. They speak your language either by word but mostly by your thought. The Christ effect reminds you to be careful what you place your thoughts on. Good and bad thoughts can manifest. But any thought must have your thought to begin to form reality. The Christ effect is the power of our thought has been called the placebo effect, and Western man scientists have been attempting to master this effect of thought, not to help fellow mankind but to find ways through drugs to control mankind. The Christ effect says to us, you are what you think. Think love within to send your love where it needs to go. Not outside love, but inside love for you but within you. Here's another fact that Christ knew about each of us, and today's scientists have discovered about our human bodies. Every day 100 billion cells die and leave the body, and every day 100 meters billion brand new cells replace them. Which means in 7 years we are completely replaced head to toe. One more fact to ponder is this: according to morticians, the side of the body that is used the least during one's lifetime has the most cell and tissue damage. Christ said if you don't use it you will lose it. So, one must ask you, was Christ right or left-handed? Doesn't it make sense that Christ was whole and complete and used and instructed both sides because they were there? All sides need to run together to be run as God designed. When we were little children and could not yet stand or walk, we used our own thought process to get all the pieces working together. We did this within and had no real help from the outside. Balance is an inside job. When we grew older and achieved the skills of walking, talking, running, etc. Before you forget how you did this, remember it was inside you with your thought. So, try to remember how you used your thought as a small child with your thoughts. If you use thought correctly, it has a tremors healing effect. Use it incorrectly and it can make you sick or worse. So when Christ said we ate love our neighbors, he was not talking about the neighbors down the street. No, he was talking about your family within, and the neighbor would be the opposite side of your dominant hand. For 90% of the people, the neighbor would be their left outside of our body. We are supposed to share data evenly within. Whole self data sharing with all sides trained to be whole. It's not easy to do without training, which is what the Christ was sent to give us. So, was Christ left or right-handed? He was whole and wanted us to follow him on this God path. We are all aliens from different heavens. This earth is like going to a Disney World trip. The truth is we're all aliens from different galaxies and different planets and different experiences and in different life forms, and we all want to come down here and ride in one of God's suits, and it's a lot of fun. It's also a pretty dangerous place if you don't know how to run and operate your God suit, which is really what it's all about. Operating the God suit vehicle or driving 50 trillion cells live within. So, everyone's got 50 trillion cells, and these cells can become anything that anybody wants. These cells are waiting to be told how to do it now. They need to be told in the right way and in the right context. So, they will give you what you want, but be careful of what you ask for, you just might get it, which is how the image equipment works. The Christ effect there we're calling our God suits perform there is even when there is so much to discuss, but I'm trying to generalize it so that you as a newbie bring me some murderers enter this realm of consciousness can grab hold of it and expand into really what we're living on. This is heaven, but it has an attitude, and the attitude is what is created inside our heads and how we respond or not respond to the mindset that we're working with now. The problem is that we've never been given any instructions about love thought, or what scientists call the placebo effect, as if there's something wrong with that. The placebo factors your belief, which transforms and manifest whatever your belief is inside you. A modern-day placebo effect would be the Prozac pills. The Prozac pills, which how many have been sold, have been proven to have absolutely no physical or mental effect or anything to us, or sugar pills, but because you've been told the destabilizes you, allow your own thoughts to stabilize with something that can't do anything to you. What a joke. The pharmaceutical companies absolutely love the fact that they can sell us something that has no real value at all, but because we believe it has a value has made many people multiple billionaires. But how much money do you really need? My friends, Christ said, let those with money replenish the earth, which those that have money don't want to do that because that's their power, that's who they are. Their whole identity is based on how much money they have in their pocket. But that's not Christ consciousness. Ask not Christ conscious as at all as greed. So here's one little secrets that has been told: you can do anything and everything you want on this planet with moderation. You have to moderate whatever you're doing in order do not overload part of your system, and a part of your system is overloading your life. Cut it out. The Christ effect 102. How did God design our electrical energy systems? Reset buttons. The Christ effect. Let's join the family of mammals. 2. The Christ effect for health and wellness. Shake it, don't fake it, stretch and hold it. The Christ effect. The electrical system. Recharge the past. It may have been called being born again. The Christ effect: we must have knowledge to do everything. God data in and God data out. The Christ effect life lesson: we are supposed to live to be 120 years. Shake and stretch, hold. The Christ effect: let's look at who we are. We are first of all mammals. The Christ effect: every mammal shakes and stretches to rest their energy frequency, all except us. The Christ effect: we have nearly 50 trillion cells within each of us. The Christ effect: every day 100 billion cells die and leave us. By design. The Christ effect: every day 100 billion cells take their place. Who knew? The Christ effect: 100 billion new cells in your everyday. Who's counting? Shake it and stretch, say hello. The Christ effect: when we are born whole and growing. The Christ effect: when we go to school, they teach us to write, but what are they leaving off? Why don't they teach us to use what's left of me? The Christ effect: the side of the human body that is used the least at death has the most cell and tissue damage. The Christ effect: what's the most powerful thought you can hold? Love? Yes, love. And if you hold love for 20 seconds, it begins to manifest within you. This works for any thought, so be careful. The Christ effect: the Creator made us all in the images of God. We are all living in a God suit. Respect the suit. We are all aliens, no one came from here without God's permission. There is a choice: the choice to do nothing or do something to help yourself. Now currently, what are told to do in order to stay in good shape? They say we need to really work out hard, sweat and really work out hard. This clearly doesn't work for the older population, does it? Why not? The why not is lack of knowledge about the power of our thought. All thought belongs to God. So, when you are thinking anything, God is listening and hoping we understand the ability for God to be within us all. Our consciousness is the God within. So be careful what you think upon, because the system just manifests thought like a genie in a bottle. Love within the genie appears. Here's the truth: thought is your consciousness. Think about that. Thought as a manifesting tool has been greatly ignored by our loop-sided, right-handed educational system we now live within. Think about that? To solve any problem, it's advisable to look at the problem from a distance. To see what is really happening, then make changes that affect those things which you observe. Sometimes when we look too close, we cannot see the whole picture of who and what we are. Think about that. The first thing we need to reset is ourselves. That makes sense, but how do you repair or reset our bodies? Is this not true? Of course, this is a true statement. Reboot yourself by watering your interior with the thought of love. Try as much as you can, place the word love into your God suit conscious. The body itself is made up of 50 trillion cells. Each cell is capable of becoming any part of your body that needs to be regrown or healed, and 100 billion cells die on each of us every day, and 100 billion new cells take their place. Every day we are being born again, brand new 100 billion cells at a time. What we are missing is shaking and stretching like our mammal-like sisters and brothers everywhere. In other words, in 7 years every cell in your body is replaced. It only takes 7 years. The body heals and repairs automatically on every living mammal on the face of the earth. This is by our Creator's design, not by men but by our Creator. Our Creator formed all living life here on earth. And I'm taking this as the truth of all creation: everything is perfect. We are all perfect if we operate our God suits in a perfect way. Do you agree? All of creation is perfect, we are the ones who need to be perfected. The Christ effect allows you to become perfect as the Christ. Per fact, we are the ones who are not perfect because we have forgotten how the whole body works. We just need to think about it and the answers will come. Aren't you supposed to be somehow whole? Can we be trained to be whole? If we've been trained, it's not the training to become whole in body, mind and spirit. We've been trained to think that one side of our body is more important or more appropriate than the other side. Am I correct? Don't you want to be whole again? We are promised 120 years. Both sides are appropriate if God gave them to you. Imbalanced movement is incorrect. True or false, we stopped loving ourselves inside. The Christ effect is the love within by design. When you shake and stretch like all mammals, you cross-massage every part of your body that you shake and stretch is renewed by design of God. We need to join our mammal family. Resetting our God suits is our responsibility once we grow beyond the age of 26. Our bodies stop growing at 26, did you realize that? God's design stops growing at 26, This the reason why car insurance rates all drop at 26. Why? Because we are all settling down and stop taking risks. In fact, many people marry at 26 because they feel like they are settling down, and they are right. And without any instructions how to use the Christ effect, my people all suffer. Lack of knowledge about the self is which we all suffer from if we turn into the Christ effect to body conforms to wellness and health. Shake it, don't fake it. Shake it to make it Christ-like. Forgive yourself, love yourself, for everything is your thought. Think love, become love, the Christ effect. If you do nothing to make yourself stronger, how will or could the body renew itself? Loving yourself in the Christ effect manner is the key to walk in the pathway of the Christ. Further from the truth. We are to love the neighbor within. Only you control the Christ effect of love. Work on your thoughts of love. Feed yourself with the love that our God suits were designed for. Give the same time and energy to your center core with your thought to give the life-giving juice of consciousness. Imagine your neighbor who lives right inside the same building as you. Are you friendly to yourself? The issue, that's you and me, and you have been told and you believe that if you are not right you must be wrong. That they're not as good as you, that they're lesser of a citizen and have no need to be active or to lead the rest of the body in the family called us. Here. So why is the #1 cosmetic surgery special on the face? Hello. Does that mean that God is a surgeon and he knows he made mistakes when God created us? And I am crazy, eliminate stubborn body fat with a machine or external device. Is God a surgeon? Just what sort of a surgeon? Maybe one sort of a doctor likens a surgeon who uses micro-laser technology. Take care those crow's feet, or freeze your glutton-filled cavities and reshape you so you can overeat and indulge yourself once again. Do not think that God is here to do that kind of work here. I mean, he can do anything, but really it is and has always been our responsibility to take care of ourselves and to learn to maintain our God suits we are all driving around in. Okay, no, let's really get down to it. If you look at every mammal on the face of the earth, and by the way that's what we are, you will see that every mammal shakes in its own way back and forth, and then there's some stretches we do this because it's how their system operates. Now here's the point, we are the only mammal that God has designed on the face of the earth. Because of no data to do so, we have failed to find the reset or the reborn button inside this, which I am saying, which I have called mammal eyes, mammal eyes. Next paragraph, here is the secret, here lies the secret resetting and rebooting our God suits so that we can become and do everything that our Creator wanted for us. That means that if we are running our equipment the way it was designed, as mammals, we will find a simple way to regain our energy within. That we must get back to the simple way of stimulating and resetting our system by shaking from side to side, smiling, thinking the love inside our head, stomping her feet, shaking her hand, move so that you can live. There is a word called Satan. That word is misunderstood. It is sit in. If you're sitting all the time and not moving, the devil, which is live backwards, would take you and destroy you. The truth is that the side of the body, either left or right, that is used the least during a person's lifetime has the most cell, tissue, muscle, bone damage. In other words, thought and the usage of one's body while pouring thought and energy down that side creates strength by usage, and the side that has been taught just to hold things, not to be a doer, is the most damaged. Now this is a subject matter that will not be discussed on any educational level that we have in this country, because it leads to you realizing you must become and hold yourself accountable to be whole. Imagine if you disagree with this. Imagine if you're in the middle of the ocean and you're holding briefcase with your left hand because that's the way you always do it, and you're not using your left hand except to hold something. Well, how well is your right hand going to become a swimming partner with the hand that won't participate? Here's another example. Let's say you're climbing a sheer wall. You see it on TV, people climbing class just for their fingers and toes. Imagine I'm just using one hand and one set of toes. How well do you think that person will be able to do going up a sheer cliff using half his body only? One of the issues that we really must look at is that we have been described as a bipolar, bisexual and abiding person if we consider ourselves to be right and forgetting what's left. Next paragraph, what I'm talking about is the love within yourself, knowing that your thought of love is translated into the usage of your whole body to create an energy aura that is a shielding and healing effect the doctors cannot explain other than it is part of God's whole design. Currently we are a world of fractional perfection. Very few places concentrate on being whole was every move because it's good for us, because it's natural for us, and because God wants that for us. Most people believe after they've been educated, and that word really may or may not be a correct word for it, but after we've been educated in the public domain we have been all convinced you're either one-handed or you're the other hand, but not both sides are never connected, they are kept apart. Why now? I'm not going to blame anybody, I just know the why is because God wanted that way at this point, but we have the chance to be the generation of a change, we and be whole, we can be as Christ was. Christ left or right-handed? What did he? Both. Did not Christ say, be ye whole, and you have no need of a physician? Christ just named our the three energy components in an easy way for people to get it. Do you see it? Do you get it? The Christ was talking about the left, the right hemispheres and the center column or core, the whole host. The woolly host at center core brings the two sides together and allows them to communicate and love each other. The understanding that Christ wanted you to know is within. If you don't use it, you will lose it. If you lose it, who do you blame? You cannot blame anyone but yourself. Let's live backwards. Does not make sense? The Bible as a reference point is filled with data that helps us to try and hopefully become whole. The Christ effect. In fact, have you ever read about studied all the faiths in the world? Well, I have, and to sum up all major and minor religions, it appears that they are trying to teach us all as wholeness with our Creator, especially while we are riding around in God's suit. On the face of this fact, why has God allowed problems? I guess we are very slow learners by design. We can only digest so much input and then we're full. So, after writing that in its simplest form, the Christ effect resets us and makes your God suit feel good. So, if you have missed a lot of my wisdom, no sweat. Just act like a mammal and shake it and stretch it and shake it. Movement is life. Join the mammal family and shake away all your trouble and illness away. Do it at least 5 times a day. Your 50 trillion cells will love you for it. For people who are reading this wholeness data for the first time, I hope you don't look and read every word of the Bible as literal. Do you take every single word literally? Even when in the Bible's case it is strictly storytelling. Stories to try and make impressions about what rules we should follow to be under God's protection. My hope is that this book and the Christ effect itself will open the doors in your mind to open your Christ consciousness within. We encourage the exploration of yourself to discover the hidden energy of the center core and of the mindset and the energy within each of us. We are in fact image-making machines in what we call God suits. We are to love our inner neighbor as ourselves. Each side evenly capable of doing any task to the center wholeness. This is the correct way of thinking about the love within us all. We are to train and love within. This method is what every baby does as they learn to grow and use their own God suits. Do the Christ effect. To gain this mindset of being born again, you must think within total love. Love one side, then the other, then love the other, and love again the other. Otherwise you won't be so wise. Go now and be Christ-like. Allow the Christ effect to transform you into the Christ man or woman we were all supposed to be. Come on, just love yourself like you did when you were a little child. That is the innocence of your thought energy, efficient, the naturally supernatural power of God. We all have the same power of thought, we just don't know how to drive our God suits yet. Do we? Yes or no? Think on God's power within all of us, send thoughts to heal and mend our entire body. This is the beginning of becoming a Christ man. Feel your body in gravity. Swim with your body even though you are not wet. Best free advice God's lawyer can give. YesUs, lawyer of God. www.YesUs, world.